You are listening to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona, and with me always are my good friends.
Jay flying high in the low country of South Carolina.
And Shannon G and Mesa AZ.
And welcome to our podcast. We appreciate you joining us today. And yes, thank you very much for your patronage. If you haven't already, jump on our Facebook group and like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. We always appreciate our listeners. We love meeting you out in the fields of wherever we may be. And yeah, it's always to hear.
I'm still waiting for the money I'm supposed to get from the
your pay raise.
Foreign country lottery that I won.
Yeah, no.
If you want to,
you have to go get some trading cards and turn them in or something like that.
Yeah, it's weird.
So, well, I will tell everybody that I had a great birthday. It was just a little bit ago, and Mike and I had sent each other stuff. We all got kind of gifts, and they were kind of cool. Some were, actually none were RC related, so I can't really talk about any of those. But we did have a good day, and I was able to get some more work done on my CARF model 330LX. I was able to mount the motor, and I was able to, which was a little difficult for me to do. Well, the big problem is that it comes with no holes, right? Because there's so many different models, model motors that you can put on there, several different types, and you can convert it to electric or whatever it is you want to do with it. They leave that a blank canvas. And so whatever motor mount you get, and I'm using a DA 120. And so in order to measure everything, you've kind of got to put the motor up and then measure the cowling, because you've got an opening, right? It's a little circle. For those of you that are just listening, I'm holding my hands up in a circle. But you've got this circle, and then your prop and your prop back plate need to line up with the circle. Otherwise, it's off center, right? The other thing is that you have two openings for cooling, and you can't you got to make sure that they're in line so that the cooling goes through the fins of the motor. So anyway, what you have to do, or what the research that I did, there was a couple guys that said this is the way we did it, is that they stand the airplane up on its tail so that the nose is straight up and down, and then I actually am a little OCD. I think they just stood it up there, but I actually took a level and leveled it all, three places, all, up and down, and made sure it was perfectly level. And then I put the bottom cowling on, and then I took the motor, the DA 120, and then I took the spacer, and I put foam tack and glued them together. So at that point, I set it on the flat plate, and I put the back plate for the prop and the prop on, and then I moved it around until it was perfectly center. Then I slid the top cover on and made sure that all the way around it was perfectly centered. And then I glued it in place. So I took some E6000, and I just went around the base, and I didn't have, I'd actually put tape over it, so that it wasn't gluing to the actual product, or to the back plate, but it glued it on there, and it was just hard enough that I took a screwdriver and popped the motor off. And now I just have the little aluminum plate, the spacer, sitting on the motor mount, and it gives me holes, drill guide basically.
Okay.
So that's what I had done. And the first time I did it, I was kind of hurrying, and I was up on this ladder, and I'm looking at it, and I didn't really measure, and then I took it all down, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, why does the motor look like it's crooked? It doesn't look like it's perfectly aligned. It looks like it's kind of tilted to one side. So I got my level back out and realized that somehow when I put the top cowling on, I must have hit the cylinder and moved it just ever so slightly to where now it's below it turned it. So now one of the cylinders is above the cooling vent and the other one's below the cooling vent. And so I had to peel the whole thing off, start from scratch. And this time I got my dad involved, and he's visiting, and I got him involved. And so we got up there, and I was able to do it all and then get it all glued and get it mounted. So I was able to mount that. And then I got the servos mounted for the elevator, rudder, ailerons. And now I'm just waiting. I'm trying to decide if I want to use the actual pipes or if I want the canisters. I think I'm going to lean towards the canisters, but I don't know. I've sent a request in for those, so I'm waiting on that quote to come back. But anyway, that's what I did for my birthday. I spent the whole birthday just working on those, and my parents were hanging out with me, so they got to see a little bit of how the process works. And it was a nice day, and I have a big where I'm staying is still temporary, so I have a big back porch that I was able to kind of go work on, and wind was blowing and my dog's hanging out, so it was a good day.
Cool.
It was a really
Awesome.
good day.
Happy birthday again.
Oh yeah, and I got to hang out with Jay and Mike, and we played some Xbox games, so that was kind of cool too. So it was a good week for me, and so yeah, the new news is that I think Jay and I are going to take a trip this weekend. Actually, by the time you're hearing this, we'll already be there, but we're going to run up to Alaska real quick, and so we're going to check out some stuff up there, and then we'll be back for the next go-round. But yeah, we've been so busy preparing for that about the only RC stuff I've done is work on the CARF models, 330LX. So, Shannon, it's up to you.
So RC stuff. Well, we had our last club meeting for the year, and it was we actually had one of like the biggest raffles. So just tons of stuff. It was basically kind of cleaning out the raffle bin that I accumulate. People always donate stuff. We had a couple of airplanes. We got brand new trainers, so we put couple of our trainers apprentices in. So and there was some other stuff we just left out on the table, the free table. So that was good. But we take a little break because it's so hot. We still have our board meetings, but we haven't done a whole lot. So RC wise, I haven't done a whole lot other than go to meetings. I might go fly because this is Friday we're recording this. I might go fly tomorrow morning. I'll pull something down. I still got planes I've been working on, but I pulled the trigger on an airplane that I probably shouldn't have.
Whoops.
Well, we can't wait to hear.
Oh, I don't know if I should tell you now or just wait till it shows up. It's supposed to be. It should be here by the time the next one is. So
okay, well we can talk about more about it, but you can do a preview.
So do you need a new place to stay after you get it? For a little while?
Probably not. Me and my wife have a pretty good understanding. She understands. What's in the garage. It's harmless.
Yeah.
And all the Bath and Body Works stuff that she fills the rest of the house with. It's a trade-off. So
there's a trade-off.
We'll do that. Which will segue into our next topic. But no, so there's a new plane that came in. Dynam RC put on their website a few months ago, and
yes, they did.
It just kind of caught my eye because I have so many Navy aircraft. Mm-hmm. I've got the F-14 I'm putting back together. I've got an F-5 done up as the aggressor, big 28, what you want to call it. I've got an A-6. I've got the P-8 Poseidon. I've got a couple of 18s. So I have almost every plane that's been on a recent aircraft carrier except for the oddball, the
C-130.
No, the Hawkeye.
I was being a little facetious, but yeah, they did.
Yeah, so
they did have a C-130 at one point.
They did. They did actually. Yeah, that's a true story there. But so Dynam came out with the E2 Hawkeye, and it's got the rotating disc like what they used to
sure does
airborne early warning. And I was just like, oh man! And then they offered a good price, pre-order, before we get them, and
before they're all gone.
Yeah, so I put one on order, and hopefully it'll be here in the next few weeks. But it said 15 days. It's only been a few days now. So, but I'm kind of excited because it's just it's a different airplane, and I'm hoping to have it to take for orbits and classics. And of course, I might be there and be like 10 other guys. We fly them in formation,
right.
But that'd be kind of cool. But I think it'll still be the oddball because I just some people look at that plane and go, it's ugly. And to me, it's like, oh, it's beautiful. It's a work of art. And my first thought is, for my friend Barrett, he can turn it into the Greyhound, the cargo version.
Right, yeah,
because he loves to convert things. I'm like, oh, absolutely. But there's a lot different. The tail's about the same and the wing's about the same. Everything else is the fuselage is totally different. So we'll see.
Oh, good.
And Barrett, just mentioned Barrett. He actually got that little Skynetic TBM Avenger with the 850 millimeter with retracts, and he just flew it. He said it flies amazing. For a little, little UMX type plane, but he said the retracts are cool, and if they come out with something with trike gear, he's gonna go hog wild building scratch built planes, because he's like, I can go with so many planes with these retracts this size
true.
now.
Yeah,
so can you explain how they work? Have you had a chance to see it?
Yeah, no. So actually, I saw the plane because I wire up all of his electrical stuff on there and changed out some stuff. They're regular retracts, but they're just so small. They're just like any retract you get in a Dynam plane or Motion RC plane or
Interesting.
It's just they're just really really small. So whatever somebody just said, okay, well, we can make them this small.
That's crazy.
So, and they look really cool. I don't, you couldn't go, they're good for that size plane. So you don't want to go much further, because then you're going to start burning them out. They would not last. So
it's true.
Because one of the things we just realized with Barrett's Concorde, he's burnt out a bunch of nose gears, and that's because he added a really long nose wheel, the rod, the gear. So it's putting so much stress on that worm drive that it's just burning the motor out.
Right.
He's got to bump up to a higher quality or higher voltage or something.
Yeah, or a little bit stronger titanium.
Yeah, just something. It's just like, blah, because the last time he let me fly and I was coming in and land and the nose gear collapsed, and I was like, I felt bad.
Oh no.
It's like, so. But
well, that's pretty cool.
So that's my RC stuff for the week.
Well, I actually got some RC stuff.
Let's hear it. Fire away.
Mike Barsalou came out here
last
week or so he was hanging out, and he got me to dig out some of my planes out of the pile back there, and we got our planes working, and we went down to the field. It's an old high school that they had knocked down, so this is giant field, not giant, but it's a medium-sized field, perfect for park flyers. And so we went down there, and we took a couple of wings down there, and they were perfect for the field because it's a little. When we first walked around the place, I'm like, we should be able to fly a whole bunch of different park flyers in here. And then he's like, yeah, I think so, but we'll find out. So we got the wings out there, started flying. And we noticed that there's a set of 4 trees, and they're in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's not going to be a problem. It makes the field a little tight depending on which way you're flying. And the wind is kind of like my old Texas field. You're getting a lot of burbles on the trees that outline the field. Yeah. And so the wind's constantly shifting. You're doing 180 on the field, on the area of the field that you want to land on, constantly. So, it's not a perfect field. It's good to take care of your itch, but it definitely has some problems. And we've been meeting all the neighbors, so to speak. We have an old dog that comes out there and he stares at us. He mad dogs us for a while and just looking at us. And he doesn't move, he doesn't bark or anything like that, or he doesn't chase the planes. But anytime we move anywhere near him, he's like super skittish. This dog's super skittish. And then the last time we had to battle our spot with a guy who was he was just practicing golf out in the middle of the field, and he was hitting balls towards us. So at first I'm like, I think this guy's trying to hit us. And Mike's like, no, of course he wouldn't. But he wasn't trying to hit us. It was just the way he was practicing his chips or whatever he was doing, his chip of the ball or whatever. But
did you buzz? Did you buzz this tower? Did you buzz the tower?
yeah, well, you know how those things escalate. So we displayed our dominance on the field. So, but yeah.
Now, are there other people flying there, or is it just you guys?
Yeah, the reason I knew about the field was because my wife, she called me up while I was out doing some errand, and she's like, "Hey, are you heading home?" And I'm like, "Yeah, in a little bit." And she's like, "Hey, stop by that that field that's near our house, because there was a guy flying RC gear out. He was flying RC out there." And I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, she was out there, and another guy was out there, and blah, 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 blah." And of course, by the time I got back, there was nobody out there. But there seems to be a few people who do RC around here. I was wearing one of our Park Flyer T-shirts, and I'm in the store, and then this guy started. And I was talking to Mike, in fact. And then the guy starts. He starts asking me questions, and I'm like, I'm trying to talk to Mike. I'm like, what is it? Is there a fire? Do I need to get out? Because he was like, hey, blah 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 blah, and pointing at my shirt. And finally, I started listening to him. I told Mike to hold on, and I'm listening to him. And then he found out he was an RC flyer, and he was just, next thing you know, he went off on a topic and was asking all sorts of questions. So, Mike's trying to answer the questions, because he could hear it through the phone. And he's like, "Oh, he should use these servos." And if he used a Spectrum system, he wouldn't have a problem with that. And it was funny. So I'm trying to talk to the guy and answer his question and relay Mike's answers. And I'm finally like, okay, I'm tired of being playing telephone with this guy and that guy. But he was nice enough, so I dropped him one of our cards, and You
did put me on speaker there at the very end. So
what's that?
You did put me on speaker at the very end.
Yeah.
He got tired of relaying it because I would hear him and then I'd say, "Oh, he needs to do this," and the guy would say, "What'd he say?" And so finally Jay's like, "Enough of this," and he put me on speaker and he goes, "Mike,
enough of this grapevine."
Mike's on the phone. He's another RC guy. So now the three of us were in line talking, because Jay and I were talking. So it was pretty funny. So yeah, he said he was going to look us up and join the podcast. So yeah, if you're out there. I didn't get his name, but if you're out there, welcome to our podcast. Yeah,
yes.
We love to help people and we love to meet them. It's awesome.
Yep.
And Jay's good at that.
Out in the wild.
Yes, Jay is good at that. Well, that's very cool. That was one of the things that when Jay first moved to his place, I was trying to find him on Google Earth. That was one of my first questions as I asked him when he moved in. He had only been there like a day or two. And I was like, "Hey, man, what's that big field down at the end of your road?" He goes, "What field?" I was like, "There's a big RC field at the end of your road." And so, yeah, we found out later it was like a little school building or something. And I think they used it as a football field.
It was the high school. It was their football field.
Football field, yeah. And it used to have like stadium and fence and everything, but they tore it all down, and so now it's just a big open field. So yeah, it was.
That's how you know you got a good wife, though, because she actually told you. There's people flying rather than like hide it. She could have said, "Don't go down there. There's nothing to see."
That's true. Knowing what I know from Becky, though, she was trying to get him out of the house.
Yeah.
Hey, go down there. Get your stuff and get out of here.
There's food down there. Go.
Yeah, right. Tired of having you stuck in the house. You get your butt down there. I got a text the other day, and Shannon, you'll be kind of excited for this. I fly professionally, and one of the guys that works for the same company, he flies a different airplane than I do, but he wound up going out and purchasing his own airplane, and it now looks like this.
Ooh!
You notice anything?
Yeah, that's yours.
That is. So now, if you're not watching us on YouTube, you're listening to us on the podcast. I just held up a picture of a T-28 Trojan that's yellow and green in the Navy scheme with the CD on the tail. That airplane just landed at Deer Valley and is now going to be based at Deer Valley.
Wow.
So yeah, I just happened to, Barry sent me a video and said, "Hey, by the way, your airplane just arrived." And I was super excited. So I'm going to have to run over to that side of the field and take my airplane, and then we'll have to get pictures of my little one. But it's started me thinking because, we were talking about when I was out there at Gunsmoke, and you're like, "Oh, you just have to have a picture of a real airplane." And I'm thinking, well, this one's right here. I can actually walk around this one and just take, it's not like I'm looking it up on the internet.
Right.
So I just found it was really funny because he didn't buy it because of me, and I didn't buy mine because of, his particular one. Mine is sitting on the Intrepid or somewhere. It's on an aircraft carrier, the one I saw it originally. Yeah. And I had a bunch of, pictures of it. I think it may be on the Midway in San Diego.
RC bringing folks together.
Yes, it is. Always. So, yeah, I'm super excited. Barry's like, yeah, you're going to have to come out and check it out. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to check it out. Oh, yeah. And maybe I can talk him into swapping a ride with me. I'll give him a ride. Give him a ride on my RC airplane. Yeah. But, yeah, it's a super, uber nice airplane. I've got photos of it when, because the guy shared photos of his pre-purchase, and I got some of those were forwarded to me. So I'm like, wow, this thing is amazing. So he got a really good deal on it, and it's now here in Phoenix. So I'm pretty excited. That's awesome. Yeah, it is kind of awesome. I wasn't expecting it, and then all of a sudden I was just like, holy smokes, So I don't know. Top Gun's looking better and better now that I got it.
We just need what's her name to move hers here, and best mine best in the West.
That's true too.
Top Banana.
There you go. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So. Well, those are kind of cool. I think Big Jolt is coming up. I know you mentioned earlier that you were going to try and make it, but I think you have some news that I don't want to spoil it for everybody. But you've got a change in your life, and it's going to cause you.
Yeah, I got a new role, new company, and started that on Tuesday. So get the holiday.
Very nice.
Here, and then so probably can't get out to that, but definitely plan on going out to. Orbits and Classics, that's the big one.
Yep. That is the big one.
We're trying to get out to. So hopefully we'll have the other plane. And as of right now, it's just me and my friend Matt. We're gonna do the all electric trip again. We're gonna take the Tesla. And,
very nice.
So I can't take quite as many airplanes as I like, but that's okay.
Yeah, well,
so
but
one or two good ones and enjoy. But we'll get to see our good friend Harry.
Yeah, Harry will be out there,
and a couple of my good friends, Carl and Eddie, and all the guys at the OCMA. They're a good club, and you're the current aircraft owner of our former.
That's true.
Good friend Mike, the Cessna. He flew it out there, and he was always well known out there. So it's always good to go out there and reminisce with everybody. They all miss Mike too.
That's true. Yeah, we all miss him. He was a good guy. Well, good. Well, we'll look forward to a report from when you're out there. You guys are participating in that, and then the summer is upon us. It is already starting to get super hot, and
not going to talk about it today, but just kind of give you a heads up. So we're actually going to start a new racing format out at our club in the fall. We're going to do like flat foamy warbird races. And we're not even going to do it on the field. What we're going to do is so at least one Sunday a month we have the EF1 E2K races. We've kind of talked about those and seen those at AEF. So we have those, and so kind of you got to close the field down for a couple hours. They have to put the pylons up and stuff. So a couple of guys who used to be in the GQF, we used to fly those flat foamies. We did those little hacker runs, And we see Matt Sylvester is making the airframes, just cutting them out of foam, and then some of the guys have donated servos and motors and speed controls. And we're going to make a couple just to have almost like a club race with at least the first couple. Just put them together, and we're actually going to do it out in the parking lot, like kind of on the far end, like closer to the the big retention basin, because they're just little flat foamies. I mean, they're a meter or less, whatever. They're real small, and so we're just going to go out there and kind of play around with that and see if we can just for the guys that don't want to spend the money that E2K or EF1 might be.
Well, this is kind of how we started. So
yeah, exactly. So just a little cheaper alternative, and we're going to try that. So as we get more closer to that, I'll probably talk more about it. Maybe we'll even have Matt come on and talk about it. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah,
but he's put it all together, put the proposal together, came to the board meeting. He had a plane already put together. Just at least the demo of it. And we're starting to kind of talk about it, get some interest. We got a lot of guys that are interested. We've kind of like went around and said, hey, what do you think? We want to do this? And it'd be kind of fun. Well, cheap fun. So
I wonder if you're going to have an open division. That'd be pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to try to keep it stock. Run roughly this KV motor. Nothing 2-3 cell battery, nothing. Yeah,
but I'm just thinking
Gold
you really
unlimited,
push the limits of a phone.
yeah.
Mo power. That's what he's thinking.
Mo power.
Power.
Just how much power can you put on a plane? That's what I'm wondering.
More cowbell.
Actually,
more cowbell.
That's right.
Exactly.
Jay, I used to have I guess it could be listed as a flat foamy. It was a foam profile.
Yeah, that's what these are. Yeah, the profile. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. So mine was a profile P51, and it was at Gilbert Quiet Flyers, and Jay and I were out there, and Jay's like, "Hey, can I fly this?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And I had at the time it was an extra 300L from Extreme Flight. It was like when the Extreme Flight first kind of came out. I had one of theirs. It was a 300 SHP, I think. And I was out flying it. And Jay got airborne. Do you remember this? He was coming around. And I said, hey, let's fly some formation. And he did exactly what the air show guy did. He came in and just ran right through my prep. Foam went everywhere. And my prop goes one way, and I was like dead stick, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me, because mine's a full 62-inch, 3D, balsa wood airplane, and he's got this little flat foamy that's now raining down foam in millions of pieces. Like, it went right through the middle of this airplane. Wow. And Jay's like, oops, and I'm like, get out of the way, I'm dead sticking, emergency. And I don't even think it was just you and me. There may have been one or two other guys out there if it wasn't just the two of us, because we had been there all morning, and I think everybody had left, and we just gone out there and just kind of messing around. But yeah, it was the motor hit with a thud, and I was actually, believe it or not, able to get mine back on the ground, my SHP, and put it back together. Literally, and my SHP, when it finally died, had over 400 flights on it.
Oh wow!
And for a 3D airplane, that's pretty amazing, especially that one. Kudos to those guys. But yeah, that was the end of my P51 flat foamy. And I do have one more that, if you remember, actually I did. I can't say that I have it anymore, but I had one of those Fun Fly foamies that they made. They only made like a half a dozen ones, and Jay had two, I think, and you gave me one, and I still had it up until December 19th, and then it perished. But I had actually converted it from a what is the it's a geared motor, right? So it's the motor that's in there.
Oh, the old geared motor. Oh, yeah.
It was a criminy, what do they call that thing? I can't think of it. It was not an outrunner motor. It was just like a regular motor, and it made a lot. No, it wasn't anything like the Inrunner outrunner.
Was it a brushed motor?
Brushed motor. Thank you very much.
Okay, so brushed with a gear reduction, right?
It had a gear reduction on it, yeah. Okay, and it made the weirdest noise, but I love that thing. It flew great. Yep, that's exactly what it sounded like. And so. Yeah, I had that one, but I refused to let Jay fly that. So it's like I go, you only get one crash per visit. until the electric festival, then he got like 10 crashes for the visit.
There was those little Harbor Freight had a halfway decent RC plane. There was a Cub, a little yellow Cub,
kidding.
years and years ago.
Yeah,
and it would you could hand toss it and it would fly halfway decent. You try to take it off the ground, you forget it. So and I kept trying different things, different batteries. It went from NiCads to LiPo, and got that going. And then I swapped out. I put my first brushless motor, for like a plane like that. But I'd taken the wing struts off to cut weight with the brushed motor, but I forgot to put them back on. First flight with that plane,
folded up.
They took off, and it was like a rocket ship, and they just folded up.
Yeah.
Went in.
That
was the end of it.
Yeah, well, the mistakes we make as young and experienced individuals. Yeah. That's pretty funny. So, Well, we are out of time. This was just a quick get together to kind of, touch base with everyone and kind of tell everybody that I think you mentioned that you went and I know there's a new movie out, and you mentioned that you wanted to talk a little bit about that. So you got a couple of seconds, and why don't you give us a heads up about that?
So I'm holding the Mandalorian and Grogu right here in my hand.
You are. Look at that.
Bath and Body Works. Maybe we can get sponsorship from them.
Bath and Body Works.
My wife loves that stuff, and she actually got me all the Bath and Body Works stuff from them.
Oh,
so
nice.
This is like the little holder for the things, and I got a bag, which is a really nice laptop bag for
nice.
Sneaky. I like that.
Yeah. So,
right?
but
here you go.
so we went.
Here's all my Star Wars stuff that I'm not going to use. You can have it.
And compared to the other 10,000 pieces of Bath and Body Works in my house,
that's great.
It's infinitesimal, but no. But we went and saw it last night. It was opening night, at least here in Phoenix for it, and no spoilers. But just we had so much fun. I love that movie. I felt like it was also the anniversary of Empire Strikes Back came out like within a day of it, and I was like, I felt like my 10-year-old self when I went to see it at Cine Capri back in the day.
Sure.
Which was a big deal here, and they don't have the Cine Capri. They have what's called the Cine XL now at Harkins, and it's kind of the same thing, but just fun movie. Is it the best movie ever made? Probably not, but I enjoyed it. I loved it. I had so much fun. I can't wait to see it again. So we actually probably going to see it again.
That's
good. We'll have to go check it out.
If you love, the Mandalorian stuff, and just there's a lot of little cameos and a lot of little things from when I was a kid. Toys that they actually became real. Finally, it's like wow. I can't wait. I can't believe it. I was just having, and the music. The guy who does the music for them. Oh my gosh! It's the same guy that did it for the show.
Sure.
And just kind of took it up a notch. He's getting into John Williams territory as far as quality of music.
Nice.
So I was like, and just all over the place with it. So that's it. Yeah, just want to say shout out if you want to have if you got something going on. Nothing going on the next couple of weeks. Pop in the theaters.
See it. Okay.
Just
when you get done with the flying field, go out and see the Mandalorian.
That's right.
Well,
go to the hobby shop and go see the Mandalorian, and then go fly.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Yep.
This is the way. That's right.
Well, on that note, I'm Michael from Arizona.
And I'm Jay, flying high in the low country of South Carolina.
And Shannon G here in Mesa AZ.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Let's fly.
You have been listening to the Park Flyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.